Hey, what's up? What's up? Happy Monday, TGIM. Today I'm talking about how to handle your screen time with the star. Yes, I'm so glad you are joining me. If you are watching the replay later, I want to say, what's up, replay watchers? I just got my phone. Let me just make sure I am working well. Okay, I can see the comments here. Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure I can see the comments. What's up, y'all? It's Monday. I'm so glad you are here with me. Like, I actually planned to be on. I'm sorry I'm late, but a couple of my private clients are a little loquacious, and time just got passed. Listen, first things first, what I'm talking about today, how to handle your screen time with the star. I created a nice little checklist for you. I'm only covering 3 of the 7 tips. So go ahead and use the link above or below and go ahead and get the download really quick, okay? This is Actors Daily Bread. Gosh, it's Actors Daily Bread, episode 118. If this is your first time watching Actors Daily Bread, I want to say what's up, welcome. I'm Christine Horn, professional Hollywood working actress and life and career coach for actors. If you are not an actor, this show probably will not interest you. But if you are an actor who wants to book more work, crush your auditions, enjoy your life, then you're in the right place to be. And, you know, the fact of the matter is, I turn actors into master marketers and booking magnets. And I'm going to give a shout out to some of my booking magnets who are in my mastermind group: Arisha Connor, Tarnisha Small, Stephanie Green, Marilli, I don't say your last name because I think I'm going to mess it up every time. Marilli Kateri. I want to say what's up to some of my Hollywood Bound actors. If you are not part of the Hollywood Bound Actors free Facebook group, totally join us. What's up to Dawn in the house, Tony in the house. So yes, today I'm pumped because I have been working on this for y'all today. Thank you for the love and for the hearts. Let me see these comments before they go away. Marilli says hello. Okay, awesome. People are just saying hi. Hello, you guys. Me is in the house. Another one of my fabulous Hollywood Bound actors. So listen, it was on my mind because I'm like prepping this whole, for the next few weeks. Thank you for the love. For the next few, I don't know, what are the laughs about? People are laughing at me. I don't know why. Why are we laughing? I don't know. Are you laughing at me? That's my, yeah, anyway. For the next few weeks, I am really going to be pushing and promoting a masterclass that I taught several months ago. Some lucky members, I think there might have been like 20 of you out there who had an opportunity to take part in my beta version of this class. It was called Book More TV. So any of you who took the Book More TV class, I forget even when I taught it. Like, it was several months ago, but I taught it at a super crazy low price. It was a 3-hour masterclass about booking more TV because that's my specialty. So if you're in the thread and you took that class, leave a comment below. What do you think? Why should people take it? I'm not selling that today, so no worries. But the rest of this month and for the next few weeks, I am going to be telling you how you can get the opportunity to take the class. So yeah, but today, that's not what this is about. So stay focused. So again, welcome. This is Actors Daily Bread, and I want to tell you about how to handle your screen time with the star. And what do I mean? And again, the link is above or below. Go ahead and grab the full list because I'm only going over 3 of my top tips tonight, just for time's sake. So what do I mean? So you finally get the audition for the TV show or the movie. You booked the TV show or the movie. Yes, you booked it. And your scene is with the star or the stars, you know, and that is a really exciting moment. On last Thursday, I went to see Black Panther with my husband and my girlfriend CAINE, who's another actress, and another one of her friends. And there was one scene, don't give me the line, I don't remember the scene of the movie. There was one scene where there was one actress whose name I did not know. She was new, but she I think it was a scene, I don't want to do a spoiler. There was a scene where there was someone you didn't know her name, was in the scene with like Chadwick Boseman, Denai Guerrera, like with all the stars. And me and CAINE were like, girl, that's a fierce scene for her real. She's in the scene with all the stars. And I want to just help you out because that can be so nerve-wracking when you are the co-star of the day or the guest star of the day, or you have one scene in a feature film with the star or stars. of the project. And there's a lot of weight that comes on you, a lot of nervousness that comes on you. Thank you for the likes and the hearts. And so I want to talk about that today, because I think that will really serve you and really help you, because I know definitely for my mastermind members, for my Hollywood bound actors, you guys are working so hard at getting your next gig. It's going to happen, and I want you to be ready. So before I move any further, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what state you're watching from. I'm already getting hearts and likes, which I love. If you know of an actor who could use this message, hit the share button. Hit the share button if you feel so inclined to. But before I give you my, like I said, ignore my scribble, but I have a list that I made for you that you can download right now, and I'm only going to share 3 because of time, but I do want to share a quick story. Hey, Mia's watching from Chicago. It's so cold in Chicago. Mia said she was watching from Wakanda, East Africa. And I get it, because y'all got good internet service out there. But I'll share a quick story why I'm even sharing this with you. We got South Carolina in the house. I've booked a lot of projects where I was shooting with the star of something, whether it was a feature film or a TV show. I've had that great pleasure of that happening. I'm not saying that to brag. That's just what's happened. I think my favorite one where I truly had to not fan out was when I shot this movie called Blended, and it was starring Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, who I love. And when I found out that my scene was with both of them, I was just like, ah! You know, it was like that. And then I remember doing 999. There's a movie I did called 999 with Chiwetel Ejiofor. It was like the next movie he did after 12 Years a Slave. And I was like, ooh! Chiwetel had to throw me around for hours. You know, I remember doing Stomp the Yard. A lot of you know me from Stomp the Yard, the first one, the Columbus Short, and I had to push Columbus Short around for 8 hours. So I've had a lot of opportunities to be in a scene or scenes with the star of the project. And I want to just step back. What's up, Tony? I want to step back and just give you a few tips. So I put this checklist together for you, but I want to expound on 3 and take your time and read the rest of them at your leisure. But I'm sharing this with you today because I'm feeling something in my spirit that a lot of y'all are doing a lot of work in preparation, and you're going to get that phone call. So there are 7 that I have on this checklist, but I'm going to share 3 in no particular order. Number 1, my first tip for you is to know your lines backward and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Know your lines. You do not want to be that actor. And then you'll see in the checklist, I keep writing that actor in all caps. You don't want to be that actor who is unprepared. Like, boo, you had 3 lines. You don't know them 3 lines? Now you holding up the whole production because we got to start over for you. And listen, the reality is they don't really, especially when you're a co-star and you're not the star of the project, they really, and I hate, this is going to sound harsh, but y'all, I got to keep it 100 with you. Is that okay? If that's okay, let's type 100 in the comments. Keep it 100. Just let me know if I can keep it 100 with you guys. What's up, Tanika? Thank you for joining. I need to see the first 100 in the comments before I keep talking, because sometimes I hurt feelings and it's not my intention. So somebody give me a keep it 100 in the comments, and I'll keep this thing going. That's not water. Tarnisha Small says keep it 100, so we keep it 100. I'm a little nasal. I have allergies. So listen, the reality is, to keep it 100 with you, is you just the co-star for the day, or even the guest star. It doesn't matter. If you're not the star, no diss, you're not the main concern. Like, yes, we want you to do good, and yes, they don't want you to make a fool out of yourself, but their sole concern is not with you. You are there to just do the job they asked you to do. So I need all of you watching to show up so ready, it's ridiculous. I don't care if it's 1 line or if it's a 3-page scene. I need you to rehearse with your mama, your husband, your boyfriend, your sister, your dog, somebody, so that when you show up on that set, that is not the first time you're hearing the lines come out your mouth. That's not the first time you're hearing another human say the lines to you. That's a really big tip just for your auditions in general. You should never walk into an audition or to a self-tape and the first time you're hearing the words, because it will read that you're just not making that connection. So that's the number one. Know your lines backwards and forwards. You know, I gave an example last year. I shared a resource with some of you guys. I shared an example of, I shot the last episode of season 1 of Greenleaf. There's a show called Greenleaf on the OWN, Oprah's network. And I played the lawyer to one of the main characters who was pedophile and go through some drama. If you watch the show, you know. It was a quick scene. Blink and you'll miss it. But when I tell you, it was literally, they were packing up. Crew was packing up, putting stuff on the truck. People were ready to go. It was the last scene on the last day of the season. They were done. And the look on everybody's face was like, yeah, hurry it up. And I didn't take it personal. I was just like, I'm so glad I'm prepared, because if I was messing up, this would not be good. So be prepared. Know your lines backwards and forwards. My second tip to you tonight, like I said, there's 7, but I'm going to give you 3. My second one, which one do I want to share with you? I'll give you this one. Study the star. On the checklist, that's number 6. Study the star. Here's what I mean. You can learn so much by studying the star of the show or the movie. And not in like a creepy way, like you're like taking notes while they're on the side. Hey, Brian, thank you for joining, right? You can, but I want you to watch them. And I want you to know this is not like a promo Christine show, but there was a show I was on. It's still on Hulu if you want to check it out. It was called Complications. It was a medical drama. I was a major recurring character on there. And the star, most if not all of my scenes, I was in 8 episodes. So out of the 8, maybe 7 of them all my scenes were with the star of the show. A lot of pressure. Jason O'Mara, shout out to you. But I just spent so much time watching him. I would watch if he messed up, how he would adjust. If he needed another take, I saw how he took the power and had the confidence to not ask for another take, but really demand in a nice way another take. There were times where I fumbled the line, but because I was so scared, I was a guest star and didn't want to hold up production, I just like, I think he saw how mortified I was on my face at times. And he would say, Christine, do you want another take? And I'd be like, yes. And he taught me that I was empowered enough to say, let's do it again. Can you imagine saying that? I couldn't at first, but doing that show specifically taught me to take my power, because honey, if they don't have what they need, when it comes to editing, you're going to get cut. Your line will get cut. Your coverage is going to get cut. And so, yes, I will be very 100 with you. As a co-star, if you have a couple of lines, you really don't have that power to say, let's do it again, guys. No. But if you're a guest star or above, you have the power to say, let's go one more time, please. And you look at the other actor and make that connection. That's what I learned. So that's what you can learn from the star. Look at the star. Are they treating the cast and crew like crap? Are they being a jerk? Are they being really welcoming? Do they know everybody's name, or at least trying to? That's something that I took back, and not just from him, from so many projects that I've worked on. I've seen the response of when the star of the show is friendly with everybody. I've seen how that trickles down into the day. In a 12, 14-hour day, I've seen how that has an impact on the morale of the crew and the cast, versus someone who's a jerk and no one wants to be around them and everyone's tiptoeing around them. Like, it makes for a really awkward, uncomfortable day at work. But that's the stuff that I study. I really study. I study how they're working their angles. You know what I mean? Like how they get up from the chair, how they write things down, follow everything that they do. I'm not saying to copy them, but I am saying to study them, because they didn't get to be number 1, 2, or 3 on the call sheet for no reason. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Just give me some comments in the thread. Let me know if you're feeling me. And I'm going to give you my third favorite tip. Again, if you're just joining, welcome. This is Actors Daily Bread. Thank you. Brian says he's feeling me, most definitely. Awesome. So again, if you don't, I'm giving you 3 of my tips, but go ahead and grab the 2-page download really quick using the link above or below. And there's 7 tips that I want you to take, print out, and just have for yourself. My last big tip, because I had to pick 3 favorites for time, otherwise I'll be on here for an hour. Y'all know how I could talk. My last tip, this is a big one, and it may throw you off. You may be like, wow. Be prepared to act alone. I'll say that again. Be prepared to act alone. What do I mean? So the reality is awesome. You booked a movie with Meryl Streep. Woo! With Denzel. Yes. Right? I'm making them up. I'm not saying that this is how they are. I'm using them as an example. Oftentimes, not always, oftentimes, when you shoot a project and you're shooting with the stars of the show or movie, they always do their coverage first. So this just happened to me. I shot a show for Showtime. When I can tell you more, I will tell you more. And it's a very popular show. And it was with 2 of the stars of the show, 2 of the male leads. And I was excited about that. And this is almost always, 9 times out of 10. I want to say 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, they're going to shoot their coverage first. They give the people who are the stars of the show the courtesy to get it out, to be done. Like if they have a really dramatic scene and they got to cry, like they usually go like this. They shoot what we call the master. The master is that super wide shot. Excuse me, that's really just establishing everything that's going on. So you're not seeing the details of someone's eyes if they're crying. You're not seeing all that. Like you can be like, I don't even know. I don't know. He's dead. I don't know what's happening. Like you can do that from a distance and we'll believe it. Like in a master shot, directors will also often tell you to save it. I remember I did a movie called, thank you, Stephanie. I did a movie called The Retrieval, which I often tell you guys about, which is still on Netflix. Watch it. Come on. Watch it on Netflix. And I remember the director telling me, Christine, save it, save it, save it. This is just the master. This is just the wide. This is just the medium. Like they want you to save it until it's the close-up. So just FYI, like you want to give, but save it. Pro actors, honey, will be like, yes, I don't know. Until it's their close-up and then them tears will just be coming out. So they save it because they know it's not the close-up. So often the stars of the show or movie will do their good stuff quick. But what happens is, and this is what throws a lot of you off. So I'm not going to use Meryl Streep because I love her. I'm going to say Mia Angelou. Mia Angelou is the star of this TV show. And this is this scene where her son has been killed and she's just bawling and the doctors are telling her, he's not going to come back. He's dead. And so she's saving it up and then she does all her close-ups and they're doing all her close-up shots here. They're just getting you from over the shoulder, the back of your head for like 2 hours. And she's serving, crying, winning an Emmy. And then they're like, okay, we're going to get ready to turn it around for Christine's coverage. And you're like, yes, this is my time. I'm about to kill it. She's been killing it for 2 hours. I'm about to kill it. And then Mia walks away. Mia says, good job, darling. So nice to meet you. You're great. And Mia goes to her trailer, honey. And you are left to do this whole scene with a piece of tape tacked to the camera as the eye line for Mia, the star, or Meryl or Denzel. Or if you're lucky, they will put her stand in there for you to look at. But the stand-in ain't giving you nothing, boo. The stand-in's just like, I'm just the stand-in. I don't know no lines. I just happen to be the same height as Mia, Meryl, Denzel. So that's why they have me here. Giving you nothing. So it might as well be the piece of tape. And so your job, and this is the stuff that I teach my private clients. This is the stuff that I teach when I'm doing my masterminds and doing audition coaching, is that you always have to be present. You always have to know what's going on. You always have to, it doesn't matter. This is why self-tapes are so good and when you do self-tapes at home. And like if you're doing a self-tape with your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your friend or your mama who can't really read, and you're like, oh, you're not giving me nothing. That's great. Because you have to be able to pull this character out, to pull the truth of the moment out, to fully be in the moment. And I'm going to take questions in a moment. So if you have a question, leave a question below. I see some comments. But you have to be able to be fully present because that lead star has gone back to their trailer. Now, mind you, this isn't every time, but I have been on both sides of the coin, where I've been lucky enough to have the star there. And here's the other thing. Sometimes the star stays and they give you nothing. They're dry because they're so exhausted from giving you all that emotion for their close-ups. So now they have nothing left to give you. I worked on a show recently where the stars were playing around when it was my coverage. Like making faces. And I had to stay focused. And that's the stuff I'm giving you in this download. This is not BS. These are actual tips. And like, I was like, how can I serve these people? How can I tell my actors what to be prepared for? Because that shit can throw you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. Let me see, here's some questions. Let me look at the thread here. So there's seven tips total, but those are my 3 favorite. I think the biggest eye opener, and I'm seeing from the comments, Brian says he never knew that. Stephanie says, this is good. Mia says, I received that. Yes. Welcome, Sophia. Thank you for joining. And if you're watching the replay, leave your comments below. I want to make sure that I hear from you. Leave your questions. Have you experienced that? Have you had an opportunity to do a movie or a TV show with a star and you felt kind of alone? You know, another thing I touch on is just the feeling of feeling alone. You know, it's really hard to be a day player or a co-star for the day or a guest star for the day when you are not part of the solid crew of cast and crew of a project. I've been on both sides of the coin. And so you really have to come in extremely focused and just ready to do the work. Ready to do the work. And I'll say this in the thing as well, but what I want to leave you with and why I wanted to show up today was, yes, you know, I have tons. If you're enjoying this, thank you for the hearts and the love. I have so much to offer you. Again, I'm, for the next few weeks, going to be really pushing my Book More TV masterclass. I taught it to a group of people, like a beta version at a very discounted price, just to get feedback. And the feedback I got was amazing. And guys, if you're in the thread, Sophia, Stephanie, Arisha, Michael, Claire, those of you who took it, leave a comment in this thread so people know that this class that I'm about to launch, I'll be launching it officially maybe Wednesday. You're going to want it because I am truly teaching you the secrets. Like, this is just a tip of the iceberg of what it takes to act for television, because it's totally different than acting for theater. Y'all know I grew up in the theater. I did Lion King. I did The Lion King for 5 years. I did it on Broadway, Las Vegas, both national tours. I workshopped it in Germany. So I know what it's like. And I also know the struggle that it takes coming from theater to film, from theater to TV. Theater, film, and TV are totally different beasts. Knowing how to end a scene and hold your beat for the commercial break, like all that stuff, it's really, it's an art within itself. So I'm open for questions. I saw some ahas. Are there any questions you guys have? Those are the 3 tips I wanted to share with you. So I'm kind of done. And I want you to go ahead and grab the download by clicking the link above or below. Stephanie says, I worked on a major set recently. And hold on, before I finish reading her question, don't be shy. Like, I am a working Hollywood actress. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you that I may have the answers that you need. And working with me does not come for free, as my clients know. So when I'm here on this live, if you have a burning question, ask it. And if I can't get to it tonight, I have my assistant grab them from the thread and I try to address them later. So I'm just going to say that. So kudos to you guys who are asking questions. So let me go back to Stephanie. She says, I worked on a major set recently as an extra just to see how things flow. And I don't want to ever do that again. Crew was not nice at all, and the leads acted as if you weren't there at all. Oh. I'm doing too much work to be an extra in anything, not unless a major motion film. Stephanie, first of all, I'm sorry that you experienced that. I have also experienced that. When I was first starting out, I did extra work just to get a feel for it. And yes, unfortunately, not all, but a lot of projects treat extras as if they're not human. And it's unfortunate because without extra, like, it's like a project needs everybody. Black Panther was wonderful, but we needed those extras. I happen to know several extras in Black Panther personally, and without them, they could not have been the citizens of Wakanda. They could not have been showing that regality and that beauty. Like, we need them, and it's unfortunate. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times that happens from the top down. It starts from, you know, sometimes the director acting like a jerk, then the AD is acting like a jerk, and then the second AD is acting like a jerk, and then the PAs are acting like jerks, and then they're talking to you like you're 5 years old and you don't know how to follow directions. It's unfortunate. And then what also happens is that there are extras who don't follow directions. There are extras who are doing too much, and it ruins it for everybody. And so the only thing I can say, Stephanie, is I'm glad you experienced that, because it will help you be more grateful for when your opportunity comes to be on the other side of that. And so you never forget. Like, I've been treated like crap many times over the years, but what I've never forgotten is how that felt. So when I go to set, I don't care if I'm there for the day, if I'm a day player, a one-day guest star, or I'm there as a star of the show or the movie. I learn people's names. Even if I forget them, I make a point to learn their names. I make a point to say thank you to the PA, to the person who brings me breakfast, who brings me tea, who asks if I need anything. I make a point because I know what the other side of that feels like, and you do too. So now you can be a blessing to all the people you come into contact with, whether you're doing a show or a project that is paid or not paid. So God bless that experience, because without true real life experience, it's just theory, right? I can explain it to you and tell you about it, but until you feel it and know what that felt like, you can't make a difference. So God bless that. Let me go to the next one. Arisha says, it was excellent. Oh, I think Arisha's talking about the Book More TV class that I'm about to offer this week. So stay on the lookout for that if you want the opportunity to join that, to get that digital download. She says, it was excellent. Definitely gives you an outline and organization. You need to keep going. Still referring back to the tools. Thank you. Mia says, I did a co-star once and the lead was really dismissive. I learned that I still have to bring good energy because the scene still needs to be filmed. Amen. Because this is what's up, Mia, and everyone else watching. Like, no one's going to know that so-and-so was dismissive to you. All they're going to be like is, why was that girl being a little stank on camera, right? Like, let's say Mia took it all personal and like she was acting shady, like, because the person was giving her shade. No one's going to know that. It's just Mia's scenes are just going to get cut, or they're going to cut some of her coverage and stay more on the other person. It's not personal. And that's something else I talk about in the checklist, that sometimes, often as co-stars and supporting actors, and never forget that you are supporting each other. I don't care if you have one line or 3 scenes, you are supporting each other. Just like doing theater. Everyone supports each other on stage or we all go down. When you start to make it about me, my performance, you lose. The project is the project. An ensemble is an ensemble. Okay? So yeah, that's sometimes you have to chalk it up. Okay, I don't know what kind of morning she had. I don't know what kind of morning he had. Maybe he's dealing with the kids. He ain't had sex with his wife in a while. I don't know. He's irritable, but we gonna do this work. We're gonna do this work, and I'm not gonna put my name on anything that looks a hot mess. So good for you, Mia. Risha says, yeah, she did some extra work too, and they weren't really nice to her either, but she makes some great friends. Awesome. And Mia says learning names is a good way to have an impact on crew that may otherwise be overlooked. Absolutely. In closing, right before I go, I do want to say that again. I think if you have watched any of my videos for a while, if you're new to me, welcome. One of my main goals in life is to spread love. # spread love. Somebody put that in the comments for me, please. Spread love. Whether I'm connecting to casting directors, producers, you know, it is my intention always to spread love. And so that means I speak to crew, I speak to cast, I'm nice to my hairdresser, I'm nice to my makeup artist, not to be a kiss ass, but to honestly respect people as human beings and understand that we all have a gift and we're all on that set or on that show or on that project to make a difference. And it takes all of our special gifts to make this work. Again, I'm gonna go back to Black Panther. If you sat and watched till the end, like if you watch, I sat and watched every credit, every country they were in, all those names. I mean, that was the longest series of credits I've seen in a movie in a while. And I was like, and I remember telling my husband and my friend Sakan, who's an actor, I said, gosh, look how many people it takes to make this dream come to life. It takes so many people, and nobody can be dismissed for the piece that they added to this puzzle. And I just sat there and just watched like credits from Korea and Berlin and Atlanta, and like I was just amazed. So we all matter and we all count. So yeah, I'm gonna take these last few questions and go. Arisha says, when do I do a modified local hire? Arisha, I want to invite you to go to the SAG website and look up modified local hire, but I'm going to give you the Christine version of it. But I want you to actually see it in SAG after terms. You have local hire, which is like, okay, I live in LA. If I book a job in LA, they don't have to pay me for travel or housing or per diem, right? A modified local hire could be, so I'll use you, for example. Let's say you're based in Atlanta. Right? You have an agent in Atlanta, you're based in Atlanta. So if you book a job in Atlanta, you're a local hire, no questions asked. However, let's say you get asked to do a project that shoots in Virginia. That happens, and they say they're gonna offer a modified local hire. That means they're gonna take care of, most times, they're gonna take care of your lodging, your housing, your travel costs, like your mileage, not your travel. So they're not going to fly you. So if you're trying to book a job in Virginia and they're booking it as a modified local hire, they're going to cover your mileage. Now, how you get this is up to you, but they're only going to cover whatever that mileage is. So let's say it's 300 miles to Virginia. They're going to cover that in gas and give that back to you. But if you like, bump that, I'm going to fly to Virginia. I got a buddy pass, or I found a cheap ticket. That's on you, but they're not paying you for your ticket. So they're not going to give you, they may or may not give you per diem. I'm kind of blurry on that. So that's what that means. So yeah, so you would want to look into the details of what they're offering. And oftentimes when you have an audition and they say modified local hire, they'll tell you what the specs of that local hire are. They'll say must live within 500 miles of whatever state, will cover mileage and per diem. So maybe they're not covering housing, but they're covering per diem. So it really is, you'll have to see if it's worth it for you. All right, you guys. I don't see any other comments or questions. It's been an honor hanging with you tonight. Again, I'm Christine Horn, your life and career coach. If you have more questions, if this was, I missed the question. I'm sorry. Let me come back up here. The screen goes so fast, so give me a second. Thank you, Brian, for sharing my Spread Love link. There was like a delay. Stephanie and Brian shared it. Thank you. And Mia. And Tony. Dawn says it's important to know that the crew members are often interested in doing other projects as well. That's a very good point, Dawn. Yeah, a lot of crew, you know how we all have jobs, right? Before I moved to California, for years, I worked a 9 to 5. I worked a 5 to 10. A lot of you are working in your 9 to 5s and your hustles and your side hustles. But that doesn't mean you don't have bigger aspirations. And that is absolutely true, Dawn. A lot of people on set are working on scripts. They're bonded together and creating films. They're aspiring filmmakers, but they're trying to pay their bills. They're trying to pay the rent. So they're going to take this 3-month gig being a second AD or being a grip or a best boy, but they have bigger aspirations. So if you were a jerk, word gets around like this. That the circle is so small. So I absolutely agree. So that's good networking too. And I've made some really cool connections, honestly, on set with some of my people. Let's see. Mia said Black Panther had the longest credits ever. They did. It was long credits. But hey, I'm not mad. Give everybody their props. Marilla says, do people on major sets ever treat people like that on purpose, being dismissive, mean, and disrespected to those lower on the totem pole just to see how they react? Marilla, I don't think it's a like, let me poke your buttons kind of thing. I honestly don't. And when you download this freebie tonight, I want you to look at number 7, Marilla, because it's not always personal. You may take it personal, and that's one of the tips I'm giving you is to not. There is a lot of pressure that comes with being the star of anything. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders. You have a lot of responsibility. You have so much press, publicity. You have lines to learn. You're in almost every scene. You're barely getting any sleep for a certain amount of time. You have a lot of pressure. You don't really have the time to invest in a lot of different day players. If you're shooting a 10 or 24 episode show, you literally cannot invest in learning people's names for every episode. Like, you're going to get to know your co-stars who are series regulars with you, or maybe the recurring characters, but you just don't have. I've been on that other side of it. I haven't been an asshole, but I have had to just focus on my game. Like, I have 3 more scenes to shoot today. Like, hi, hello, I'm nice. Like, hey, good to see you. Nice, welcome. And then I'm usually in a zone. And from the outside looking in, some of the extras or some of the day players may be like, oh, I'm not in their conversation, because I may be joking with another one of my series regulars. But because we have built a rapport and we have to have that rapport for camera. But I personally don't think people are setting out with an agenda to make Marily's life miserable today. I'm going to dismiss that pretty Latina girl because she's too pretty. Like, I don't think that's what's happening. I do know that there's a lot of pressure and there are a lot of expectations and there's lack of sleep. And for you may feel dismissed and not paid any attention to. However, that person is getting a whole lot in their ear throughout the entire day. And until you're in those shoes, it's really hard to imagine. But that's why I say in this handout today that I want you guys to download if you don't have it already, make it about you, make it about your work that you have to do that day, because there's so much happening that is not about you. I can't tell you how many projects I've worked on as a guest star, as a lead, and someone is having a bad day somewhere, probably at the top, one of the execs, and it's trickled down, and now the first AD, is making my life a living hell. And I just suck it up, say, thank you, God, that I'm here and that I even have this job. Let me show up and do my best work, so that when they look at the dailies later, the dailies are your daily footage. When they look at the dailies later, they'll see that I did a good job despite the madness. So that's my best answer I have for you, Marily. Don't take it personally. This industry requires tough skin. And I don't have the time, Marily, to think about what's driving you to be an ass today. I don't. I've been in I've been in some makeup artist chairs. I walk in the trailer and the makeup artist has an attitude. And I'm like, honey, you ain't gonna throw me off my game today. You can have an attitude, just beat this face how you need to do it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm on camera. At the end of the day, you're on camera. And you have to show up as the best version of you, because no one's going to care if someone hurt your feelings, or if someone was not nice to you, or if someone didn't remember your name, or someone didn't speak to you. Because trust me, there were some projects that I listed today, and I won't shout them out, where I was treated like I was not there. But I still have the footage. It's on my resume, and it got me to my next level. Honey, I don't got to be your friend. I got a job to do. Let me see if there are anything else. Mia asks, I'm leaving it open for a few more questions. I'll give it 12 more minutes. I know 12 minutes is a long time, but hell, I'm here. I put on makeup, honey. I'm here. So 6:48 my time. So I'll hang out for a little bit longer. Let me read some of these questions. Mia says, which do you recommend, headshot and resume printed on the back, or headshot and resume stapled? Mia, always staple it. You guys, I used to do the print on the back 2 years ago. I was like, I'm saving time. I'm going to put it on my laser printer. But then You done printed 100 headshots and you booked a role the next day. So I personally only print like 2 or 3 resumes at a time, and that's when I have an audition. Because, not trying to be, you know, funny, I book a lot. So I'm not gonna waste paper. Like I'll have an audition today, I'm gonna print 2 resumes. Because sometimes they want 1 headshot, sometimes they want 2. And a lot of times now they're going green and they don't want any, but I stay prepared at least with 2 when I have an in-person audition. But I think that's also a thing, Mia. It's a mindset. Ooh, excuse me, you guys. It's a mindset of I'm gonna be booking more as soon as possible. So I don't want to print that many resumes. Like I'm about to be booking more. Like I'm a booking magnet. So I don't need to do that because I'm gonna need to replace that. I want y'all to know my up-to-date bookings. So, but if you are, when you do it, you're gonna staple it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 top, 2 bottom. Arisha says she needed that. I don't know what that was that you needed, but I'm glad you got it. Okay, I answered that. What's up, Crystal in the house? Thank you. She said I beat my face. Yes, Crystal. Crystal, we need to meet. We live in the same zip code, I bet. We need to like have tea. Let's make that happen. Anthony's in the house. What's up? Thank you for joining, Anthony. Mia says, and again, you guys, if you're just joining, I've been talking for a minute. You will catch the replay of this. This has been a good one, you guys. I'm so glad. I actually knew I had time today, so it's so nice when I have a chance to schedule a live instead of just popping up on you. So if you're just joining, today we've been talking about how to handle your screen time with the star of the show or the movie. So if you go ahead and grab that free download, because I hit on 3 points today, but there's 7 that I talked about, and now I'm just answering questions for the next few minutes. So as long as people ask questions, I'm here. Mia says, are there any TV shows are looking forward to work on? Mia, I don't understand. I think that you have a few typos. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you mean. If you can explain. Are there any TV shows? I don't know what you mean. Any other questions? I have 10 more minutes. I can end this, but I got 10 minutes before I get back to work. I don't know. I'm looking for my water. I'm like, do I have any water? No questions? You guys can ask me anything. And again, if you're just joining, go ahead and grab that download because I only went off of 3 of them. And like I said, we'll be giving you some details in the next couple of days about how you can take me up on, Crystal, she was in my Book More TV class too. But I'm giving, opening up to the masses this week to offer my Book More TV class where I really go deep. If you're an actor who wants to book more television specifically and having trouble with that, I'm sharing my secrets. Okay, I'm gonna do a countdown. You guys, let's see. There's something that, let's see. Okay, Crystal says something back from my 3rd episode of Black Lightning season finale. You're shooting next week. Oh, you're shooting Black Lightning. Woo! Congratulations! Congratulations! I thought it would have been me. I like Black Lightning. I'm so happy to see such beautiful representation on television. Totally excited. And I have a lot of friends who've been on the show, so I will be looking for you. Be sure to let us know in the Hollywood Bound Actors group, Crystal, where we can catch you. Back with my 3rd. What character are you? I've probably seen you and don't realize it's you because we haven't met in person. Can you put that in the thread, Crystal? Y'all, be sure to watch Crystal. We had some other Hollywood-bound actors on Black Lightning. Vernica Rowe was on last week. It's Auntie Gina. There was some familiar faces. My friend Karen Cisse was on the other night, maybe the episode before that as the detective's wife. I just love seeing TV shows with my friends in it. But let me know what role you're playing, Crystal, because I just wasn't even paying attention. Anthony says, when will be next time you work with Tyler Perry? I don't know, Anthony. You're going to have to ask Tyler Perry. I do not know. Me and Tyler haven't talked in a while. Leslie Copeland says, I joined a little late, so I'll catch the replay. Please catch the replay. This was a good one. A good one, good one. Just go ahead and get the download while you wait. Brian asks, oh, Crystal, for y'all who are wanting to know, Crystal Lee Brown, she's in episode 1, 11, and 13. She plays Desk Sergeant King. I gotta go back now. Congratulations. So, you know, sometimes we look different. These little pictures, you know, everybody a little circle on Facebook. So I see her beautiful chocolate face with some hair. So now I gotta go back. That's awesome, Crystal. Yes. Atlanta is booming, you guys. I love it, love it, love it. Brian says, do you book more sending submissions for yourself or through your agency? Brian, I would like to think that it is a mix of all the work put in. My rep, I have a manager and several agents in different states, and they work really hard to pitch me, pick up the phone, tell people how great I am, share my footage, but using the tactics that I teach in my Get Book Mastermind for Actors, which is all about marketing. I told you guys earlier, if you're not familiar with me, I turn actors into master marketers and booking magnets. So I use a lot of strategies for myself to stay on radar. Like right now, my students are doing something for this week called 5 Ways in 5 Days, where they're reaching out to certain targets in a certain way for 5 days straight. So I do my own set of work in marketing so that it supplements and supports all the work that my rep does as well. I definitely think they work hand in hand. And I know for sure, of course, being in Hollywood and being represented, even in Atlanta, some of the smaller markets, having an agent, of course, helps. But if you are having a hard time busting through an office or getting connected to an office that you know, like let's say, you know, Crystal Lee's on Black Lightning, you want to be on Black Lightning, but you just can't get through to that office, and you know your agent's submitting you, then there's some work you have to do. There's some marketing you need to do. These people are very accessible, but too many of y'all are scared. There's a lot of scared actors out here, and you're afraid to connect to humans. You got to get behind just your laptop and your phone and make connections. And remember that people remember people. So, Brian, to answer your question, it is a mix of both. All right, we got 5 more minutes. Let me see. Arisha says, I'm not really sure about my self-tapes when I do them. Any quick tips? Arisha, let's take that to the mastermind question. Let's take that to the mastermind group, because that's a very loaded question. Okay, Stephanie says, yay, Crystal. Crystal says she opened the first episode, the first 5 minutes. I gotta go back and watch. I'm so excited. Mia's giving hearts. And she says, you guys, she booked from a self-tape and they keep calling her back. You know, that's the thing, especially for the Southeast. But I have a lot of you from the Southeast watching, and in this Hollywood-bound group. Southeast is 98% self-tape. So if your self-tapes are not up to par, you got to work on that ASAP. If you can't do it at your own house, you need to go ahead and shell out the money to get a professional to get it done. Your self-tapes are competing with actors in LA, i.e. Crystal Lee Brown and me, and many, many others. I think the misconception of being in a smaller market is thinking you're only competing with a smaller pool, and that is so far from the truth. Perhaps back in the day, it was that whole I'm a big fish in a small pond, but Atlanta is not like that. New York is not like that. LA is not like that. They're just big ponds. You feel comfortable because you're at home doing your self-tape, forgetting that you are competing with so many other people, you know, and you're up against for a role against someone who could be in New York or Atlanta or LA. Like, so your tapes, your level of quality has to match the national standard. That's what I like to say. So if you have any questions about that, you know, you need to look up what some good quality things are. Marily says, I'm so torn whether to move to either New York or Atlanta. You guys, help Marily out. Help her in the thread. We've already talked about this. Marily lives just outside, I think, Baltimore or something. And she's trying to, we've had this conversation. So I'm not even going to do this with you live, Marily. 2 minutes. Let's see if there are any other questions or comments. I love hanging with you guys. It's been awesome. And Dawn says, how can self-tapes be improved? Okay, listen, I'm getting a lot of questions about how self-tapes can be improved, or you're not sure if you're doing it right. Do me a favor, for reals, for reals, for reals. You can do it right on this thread. So Arisha, do it on this thread. Dawn, do it on this thread. And anyone else who has a question about self-tapes, do it on this thread. Because that's a very broad question, and I'm happy to address it. Like I said, I just told my assistant today to look through the thread of my Hollywood Bound Actors group and pull out all the questions and put them on a spreadsheet so I can start addressing them. But that's so broad. I don't know, how can they be improved from what? Like, I think we need to start, maybe we need to start with what are the basic aspects of a good self-tape. Because, I mean, I think we all know you need good lighting. I've talked about having a nice solid backdrop. If you light skin, have a darker backdrop like a navy blue. If you're dark skin, have like a gray or a baby blue, like something to contrast. Like we've talked about those basic things. So I want you, if you have one of those questions, take the time for me tonight or tomorrow and just get more specific with me so that I can get more specific with you. Cool? Cool. I hope that helps. I do want to answer the question. I do want to be of service, but Arisha says that self-tape is a class. But yeah, the question is though, you guys, the question is, but what part? Because self-tape, I think in my opinion, and Crystal I'm sure can attest to this because Crystal Lee Brown on the thread here tonight has a self-tape business, I think, or knows someone who does. There's one part that's technical, like your lights, your sound, the quality of the camera, the editing. But then the other part, which I think is like 75%, is you being a good actor and you bringing this character to life and using some of the tips that I've given you about your sight lines and where, you know, and how the camera's leveled. So that's why I really need to get, I know I'm sounding like okay, I'm at my time. I know and I can tell because my voice is like, lady, we're done. Arisha says, I'm booking a private session with you. So hashtag self-tape rescue. Okay. Y'all, how long have I been on? I don't even know. It's been a minute. But it's 7 o'clock, and I think it's been like 45 minutes. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap. But seriously, add your comments to this thread, and I will copy and paste this entire thread. And maybe I need to do a self-tape class. But I need to know, are y'all getting hung up on the technical side or the acting? Because I think if you're getting hung up on the acting, the issue is the acting. It's not the taping. So y'all can comment in the thread. You see what I mean? Like, I feel like the issue is acting and the choices. Like Arisha, I know for a fact you have a really great setup for taping. So I feel like some of you are feeling you're lacking confidence in what you're delivering through character, through choices, through clothing choices, hair choices, you know, mannerisms. That's what I feel like you're getting. That's what my gut's telling me, but you guys are going to have to clear it up for me. Anyway, my voice is going. I got to go now because I'm tired of talking and I need to just take a break. It's been awesome hanging with you guys tonight. Get your download of how to handle the screen time with the star. I don't know where this is. See, she just comes out. How to handle your screen time with the star. Download it now. We can talk more about it. Post your questions, ahas, whatever. Come on over to the Hollywood Bound Actors Facebook group. And stay tuned. If you are not one of my beta members of the Book More TV class, doors are opening this week for you to finally get your hands on it and start booking more TV. Have an amazing night. Bye.